The suicide note. Lagos pulsated with its usual evening energy, a cacophony of car horns and street vendors blending into the humid night air. Yet none of it registered with Lola. Her gaze was fixed on the murky depths of the Lagos Lagoon, a cold resignation settling in her stomach. 27 years old, her life savings, the security she'd meticulously built, had vanished overnight, all thanks to Kunle, the man who'd promised her forever. Now forever felt like a cruel joke. She had parked her car a few meters away with a clearly written suicide note on why she had to do the inevitable. Lost in the whirlwind of her heartbreak and financial ruin, Lola barely noticed the figure approaching her on the bridge. A man, weathered but with kind eyes, stopped a safe distance away. His voice was a gentle rumble when he spoke. "You seem troubled, young lady. Is everything all right?" She attempted to quickly jump into the waters, but the man held out a note to her. It was the suicide note she had drafted for all who cares after she might have gone, and neatly tucked into the handbag she kept in the car. But how did this strange fellow pick it out of her bag in the car? The man simply said, "I saw this note fly out of your car, and not until I read it before I understood your lonely mission tonight. My challenge is that you didn't spell the word suicide very well, and that's very bad. At least before you jump kindly, make the correction so that people can clearly pronounce the main act that you are about to commit, and properly inform your parents on the reason behind your decision, which was taken without considering their part of the pain, since Kunle, the he-goat and a fraud, was all that matters than the people that brought you into this beautiful world." Shame burned in Lola's throat, but a sob escaped her lips before she could stop it. The man didn't pry, his presence a silent anchor in the storm brewing inside her. When she finally choked out the story of Kunle's betrayal, the man listened patiently. "Love can be a powerful force," he said, his voice laced with empathy. "But it should never be the reason you lose sight of your own worth. Kunle stole your money and ran out of the country with your best friend that is pregnant for him, but he can't steal your future. Your decision tonight, if carried out, would have ended the life of your mother at 7:49 p.m. today, and your father, who has been managing his BP for the past 10 years, who would have ended up unconscious for 7 months before joining you in the land of the dead, and lastly, your real husband that is destined to meet with you at the same location by 7:15 p.m. tomorrow, would have been thrown into another 5 years of waiting for another lady to fit into his designed life on Earth." His words struck a chord deep within Lola. She looked at the man in grave shock and down at the water, the darkness now seeming less inviting, more a reflection of the despair she clung to. "Suicide," the man continued, his voice grave, "is never the answer. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. It's nothing but a selfish decision humans make when faced with life's challenges that sometimes happens to be their final exam before their main success surfaces. Without considering the fact that when they kill themselves, they actually kill more than themselves, but all the genuine people that truly love them. There's always another way, a path forward." He spoke of resilience, of the strength she never knew she possessed. He shared stories of his own struggles, of overcoming hardship and finding hope in the darkest of times. Slowly, a flicker of that same hope ignited within Lola. As dawn painted the Lagos sky with streaks of orange and pink, Lola found herself leaving the bridge, not with the man, but with a newfound resolve. The road ahead wouldn't be easy, but she wouldn't let Kunle's deceit define her. She would rebuild stronger and wiser. The man's parting words echoed in her ears. "Life is a precious gift, Lola. Never give up on yourself." Lola didn't know who the stranger was, but his words became a lifeline, pulling her back from the brink. The future remained uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, Lola wasn't facing it alone. She had a fight in her, a fire rekindled by a chance encounter on a Lagos bridge, a testament to the kindness that can exist even in the darkest corners of the world. The following day was just like any other day, she thought to herself, but she kept hearing the man's voice in her mind's ear, and she began to ask how the man knew so much about her family, down to the father's medical condition, only for her to receive a call from her office HR for her to cancel her 5 days leave and be at the office. She was so devastated as she started thinking what must have made the HR to be calling off her leave. Are they downsizing? And now that she is trying to keep hope alive, how will she survive another trauma after giving life a second chance? The turn of event was like a movie, as she was handed a letter reading, "After reviewing your contribution to this organization in the past 5 years, and your last presentation at the Okawa oil firm that has generated a business deal of $30 million, the management has decided to transfer you to head our U.S. branch in Oklahoma, and your papers are ready for signing, but the chairman of the Okawa oil firm has asked to meet you in person at a private dinner tonight." Lola stood confused. How? When? And why? How is this happening today that I was supposed to be dead if not for the stranger that spoke some nonsense that made sense to me on the verge of death? Before she could get herself, her account was credited in dollars as she needs to travel 5 days from then. She couldn't wait for the scheduled dinner time at the Lesotho resort, as she can't believe what her ears are hearing. At exactly 6 p.m., she started the journey using an Uber service to locate the dinner location, but something happened that broke her supposed mind. There was heavy traffic which was beyond expectation, and the dinner, which was supposedly planned for 7 p.m., might not have her in attendance if this evil traffic doesn't clear. At 6:40 p.m., she decided she was going to come down to wave down a bike to come to her rescue. Only then did she realize that their car was surrounded by the Apogban boys, traffic thieves, asking them to wind down the car side glasses or risk being shot. She melted like an ice jumbo, winding down quickly, but only for her to see that no one was there to hurt her again. She froze when she saw a very handsome man with security details walk up to her, asking if she is okay. She nodded in fear while the good-looking man asked where she was driving, to thinking the car was hers and the driver taking her home. She quickly said she was going to Lesotho Resort for a meeting, and the young man was shocked that that was exactly where he was going to. Without wasting time, the young man asked her into his car as they moved in convoy to the Lesotho Resort. But just as she entered the car, she saw the exact spot she was yesterday trying to kill herself. But now she is following the same path to have a first-of-a-kind meeting with a destiny-changing firm. All of a sudden, she remembered the strange man that was there the previous day. As she looked back, she ended up in a froze. The man was there asking her to check her time through a hand gesture. Lo and behold, she looked at her wristwatch and it was 7:15 p.m. She would have screamed, but for the stranger that just rescued her from trouble, she doesn't want to embarrass herself. She remained calm and didn't say a word as she now understands where the whole journey will end. But can she ever trust any man with her life again? Long story cut short, the dinner ended up in a matrimony and Lola was living happily ever after. But on this fateful day, she ran into her supposed best friend in the US as she came to apply for a PA job in her organization. She has passed all stages of interview before meeting with her. Cindy was shocked and began to ask for forgiveness. Lola laughed and asked her not to worry, that she has forgiven her before then. And how is Kunle doing, and why is her right hand amputated? It was then that Cindy explained that Kunle never left Nigeria, but that they had an accident on their way to Ghana while trying to get out of the country. It was then she lost her right hand and Kunle died on the spot while she made away with the money to travel to the US, and she has been doing all sort of menial jobs to keep alive. After listening to Cindy's story, Lola gave her $1,000 to get some things for herself and her little baby, that they will get back to her on the outcome of the interview. 2 years since then, yet Lola never reached out to Cindy for resumption, and the question is, for you to answer, if you were in Lola's shoe, will you employ Cindy as a PA? Kindly comment in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and share our story. We shall appreciate you subscribing to our channel and pressing the notification bell so that you can be alerted when we upload new stories. Thank you.